I mean, yeah, I'll jump right into it. The concern is that, and people have, who live on Alligator Point, some maybe here in the audience, have looked at St. George
Alan,
Island.
before you start, let's just say, I've gotten numerous emails about it. And so, you know, they have crafted up some language and stuff, but.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
I'm leaving it to staff, because this is what I told them, that I would take it to staff and let staff come back with a recommendation today on what we can do and how we can move forward or whatever.
Okay, I mean, I can either not say anything, because I have not seen anything proposed from the community.
No, you need to go ahead and say.
I've looked at it, Alan. It's just basically a rewrite of the East Point golf cart ordinance,
Okay.
applying it to a different geographic area.
This is the dilemma that I see as a planner for you all in the community down there. East Point and St. George Island have a road network. There's a series of parallel roads, crossroads, that provide you a way, provide those residents, those communities, a way to get around and avoid the most heavily trafficked road in those communities. Alligator Point does not have that road network. You have Alligator Drive, and everything leads to Alligator Drive, and everything is a dead end off of Alligator Drive. And people want to use Alligator Drive as the golf cart path. I appreciate and understand the desire to want to come to a resort community and be in a resort mode and a lifestyle that's easy and comfortable. But we don't allow golf carts on Gulf Beach Drive. We don't allow golf carts on US 98. And I can't stand here and say it's a good idea to put golf carts on Alligator Drive. The speed limit on Alligator Drive is 35 miles an hour. A golf cart has no protection if it's an accident of all. I mean, it's just a liability waiting to happen. So either you lower the speed limit on Alligator Drive so that it's 15 miles an hour or 20 miles an hour, where golf carts and cars are not, you know, so much danger to each other, or you just have to say golf carts are too big of a risk on Alligator Drive. I mean, I don't have the problem with the side roads, but my comment to you all, and you all know this, the side roads don't do you any good. You can't get anywhere on the side roads.
We disagree.
Well, I understand, and we're all, it's a democracy, and we're, you know, that's my opinion.
And Commissioners, when I looked at the state statute on this, you would actually have to make a finding as a matter of fact that there's a safety determination that road would be safe for golf cart travel. And after talking with Mr. Carrington and Mr. Pierce, I would be of the opinion to recommend that you not make a safety determination based on the road and its current configuration, its speed limits, and the amount of traffic on that road. It does create a danger and a liability for the county.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, there may be a representative up here with the Alligator Point people that want to speak on this particular issue. If you don't mind, could you give them some time to speak?
Have they ever had an accident down there with a golf cart?
They're not supposed to be legally operating golf carts
Okay.
down this side, but I don't know.
Let's hold your comments, please. Hold your comments, please. If you'd like to be recognized, you will step to the podium, be recognized, state your name for the record. I don't want to hear comments coming from the audience itself. We will grant you time to speak. Sir, would you state your name for the record, please?
Good morning. I'm Ray Pierce, 1434 Alligator Drive, and we are here unified. As you can tell, there's a lot of people here from Alligator Point. The sheriff has told us he's going to enforce the law, and as it currently stands, we can't legally drive golf carts, although we have done it forever on Alligator Point. It's how we get from A to B. We can't get to the marina unless we drive our golf cart down Alligator Drive. And that's going to be a tough situation for the sheriff and tough for us. We want our golf carts.
I'm Bonnie Stelzenmuller. I live at 1565 Alligator Drive. We started a petition for, residents and property owners in the area, and currently have over 120 signatures of those of us who want to continue using our golf carts on Alligator Drive. Another point that needs to be made is we don't have bars and restaurants and motels like St. George Island does. I mean, Alligator Point is pretty much just beach houses. And so, we don't get the traffic that St. George gets. And we probably don't get the traffic that East Point gets, although I've never spent that much time exploring the back roads there. The other thing is, we have bicycles and runners and everything else on Alligator Drive. I would say there's a bigger danger to them. Are you going to outlaw bicycles?
Well, bicycles are allowed to be on the road.
And golf carts should be.
Matter of public safety.
Any other public comment? Please come forward, state your name for the record.
I'm Jerry Metz. I'm a permanent resident of Alligator Point, and I want to thank for you allowing the citizens to be a part of this discussion issue. Being a commissioner for 12 years, I can appreciate what you do for the county. We're not here to ask for any change. We're just here to ask you to approve and okay what's been going on. I know 8 years, and I've talked with others for 20 or 25 years. There's a sign down there, it's been there ever since I've been coming down here. It's a 4x4, got a ATV golf cart emblem, and it says, "Share the road." Been there for, I don't know who authorized it, who put it on there, but this will not only affect the people, the number that we see is housed openly that you can count is 71 golf carts and ATVs. It's already there and have been using that for all these years. Now, this will not only affect them, but our water department uses one to check the meters every month. Ballpoint State Park has one they use in the park, but they also use the county road. And not only that, you have the Turtle Patrol, who uses one during nesting season. So this will not only affect the people who own them, but it'll also affect the entities of the water department and all. Now, I found no record of any accident that's ever happened. And it also affects our 4th of July parade and Christmas parade down there. So, but there's one thing that we need to be careful with, and that is that Alligator Point increased the tax digest of this county more than any other area last year, according to Chairman Parrish's article in the paper. You have a diamond that's not in the rough, it's just a diamond that y'all polished, and if you'll help us, continue to polish it. Because you've got 6 new facilities, buildings that's just being built that's gonna equal you about $5,000 per unit that's being built. And 6 more applications have been applied. We got 90 lots from this fire station to the end of the marina that is buildable. Multiply that times 5,000 to add to the tax digest. And so all we're asking you to do is to okay what's been done over the years now. As far as exits off the road, St. George has 55 off of their main road. Alligator Point has 32. You got back roads at Pine Street. You got back roads at Ballpoint Road, secondary roads. So I say all we're asking y'all to do is to okay what's been a practice for 25 years. And I appreciate everything that y'all done for the county.
Any other public comment?
Certainly, I appreciate what you're saying. I mean, there could be, and there may be many of the golf carts that actually meet road requirements. And so, when I say the golf carts, I'm talking about the things that are truly golf carts you see on a golf course. There are other vehicles that people use in communities that very well may not meet the letter of a golf cart, but be road ready. I mean, I've seen them in Apalachicola. Some of the ATVs are actually road ready. So there may be some of the people who are using vehicles that are not illegal at this time. I don't know what people are driving, but I just say that it might not be as big of a gulf as I'm imagining there to be out there.
Actually, Alan, they are writing tickets on St. George Island because of the use of ATVs,
Okay.
AVTs, but because they're not included in our golf cart ordinance. So the sheriff is now writing tickets on St. George Island because they're not included in the golf cart ordinance. So that's happening on the island too. If it's not specifically identified in the ordinance, the sheriff is enforcing that. Speak your name for the record, please.
Steve Fling, Alligator Point. Y'all know me. I've been the fire chief out there. Recently retired. It sounds like the main objection with our county attorney in Allen is the speed. I say, why don't we just keep it simple? I don't think there'd be anybody opposed if we lower the speed limit to rectify the safety concerns. We'd be glad to do that. Golf carts, they've been out there a long time. They're a way of life. I have an ATV. I will mention that on numerous occasions, when we had the plane fly into the young lady on the beach a while back, it was my ATV that brought the medics to the beach, brought the patients off the beach. We had a young lady dislocated her knee. That happens on pretty much a regular basis. Alligator Point's a little bit of a unique environment over what you have in the rest of the community. So I can say, from a safety aspect, let's lower the speed limit if that would satisfy the safety requirements.
And that's what I was gonna say. You've got two dilemmas here. You've got Alligator Point, which is, when you turn off of 98, it's 55, then it goes down to 45, then it goes to 35, then it goes to 15. You know what I'm saying? The only way that I see fixing this problem, other than don't do an ordinance for Alligator Point, is to make the speed limit unified. But how do you do that? The law says something about the speed can't be over 25 miles an hour. What is the law, Michael, on that?
Well, there is only one statement in the state statute authorizing these golf carts on public roads, and that's if you're inside of a state park. There's a reference to a speed limit. There's really no other reference to a speed limit maximum in the state statute. State legislature, in its wisdom, has thrown that burden on to the county commission without any guidance for you to make the conclusion of whether it's safe or not safe for golf carts to be on one of your county roads. If there's some desire on the part of the board to examine and explore perhaps reducing the speed limit, I would suggest having your county engineer look at this issue and maybe come back and either give a report to staff or come give a report directly back to the board. But what you have done in other geographic locations in the county, and Alan made reference to this earlier, Gulf Beach Drive. I mean, most of that, so far as I personally know, is a 35-mile-an-hour zone. Those people are not driving 35 miles an hour. They're doing much higher speeds, and that was the reason, because you knew the actual volume and speed of the use of that road, so you banned golf carts on Gulf Beach Drive for that reason. It was not safe. And there were, as Alan pointed out also, a network of side roads and side streets that interconnect, for essentially the entire length from the plantation all the way down to, I believe it's 11th Street East. Alligator Drive is really the only road down there in that geographic area that would qualify to get people where they want to go and how they want to actually use the road and actually use their golf carts. Given the current volume and current speed down there, I mean, the testimony from your planning staff is that it's not safe. So I don't think you have any factual basis to make a safety determination. Plus, you're not in a public hearing right now. You can't make any decisions one way or the other. All you're doing right now is exploring whether or not to move forward and consider whether or not to adopt a golf cart ordinance. So if you want to explore this issue, the next thing to do, I would say, is send this issue to the county engineer to do essentially a traffic study, for lack of a better word, and have them come back and make a recommendation as to whether or not there is a safe speed or a factual basis to establish a speed that would allow you to make that safety determination. But keep in mind, if it's a 25-mile-an-hour determination, for example, I mean, that's a long stretch of road to expect people to drive that slowly. And as a matter of practice, as with Gulf Beach Drive, they're really going to drive the speed limit regardless of how you post it.
That's right.
But that would be an enforcement issue. That would be an enforcement issue for the sheriff.
Well, there's actually two issues here. One is the people want golf carts down there. That's one issue. Safety and the liability to the county to just open this up and say, yeah, you can drive golf carts down there and speed limit stays 55. I mean, you're opening the county up for a big liability here. So in order to take any action, then the speed limit's going to have to be reduced. And if they're riding from 98 all the way down to the marina down there, then you're going to have to drop the speed limit down all the way down that road. And I assure you that the county will, or the sheriff will enforce the speed limit. So now if you're coming in your vehicle trying to go home, you're gonna be obligated to any particular speed limit that the board so desires to allow to accommodate the golf course, because you don't have that ability of secondary roads to stay off the main road, but you can use the secondary roads to get to where you want to go. So there's a big dilemma here, but I worry from my perspective, the county's liability in all this. Of course, it's up to the board if we want to try to pursue this and try to find a way to make it work with her. As you said, there's no network of secondary roads that you can get from point A to point B. You're going to have to use that main road. As Alan stated, a lot of those roads are dead-end roads, so you can't use those roads, and you can't cross private property and just go, down through the woods. So, I understand the people's concerns, though. They've been doing this for a long time, but for the county to sanction it, to allow ATVs and golf carts on the road, then you're gonna have to lower the speed limit to accommodate that. And then the cars are gonna have to learn how to slow down and they're
Well, and
gonna-
that's what I was
and
saying,
it's gonna be a
because,
big issue, as they spoke about Bald Point Road, right on down to the marina. That's a long stretch of road to come down there at 20 miles an hour in your vehicle or any other means. So, it's a pleasure to the board whether
I'd
we
like to
want.
put in a form of motion to let Michael look and see what he can do to help them, because, it's all over the county. It's, people drive golf carts all over the county.
And that's fine, but he's gonna have to comprehensively
understand.
look at it.
Yeah, I understand, to get him to see what he can do, because, this Carabelle's full of them.
We do have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we got to look at it two ways. The local people gonna be fine, but I'm worried about them day trippers gonna come in there speeding. That's what we got to watch that too.
And also, before we take a vote on this, you need to look at it for ATVs, it sounds like. Because if it's not included should we go for an ordinance of this, if it's not included, the sheriff is gonna enforce it, just as he is on St. George Island right now. Which opens up a whole nother ball of wax, because some ATVs will go 60 miles an hour, a golf cart ain't gonna do that. So you're talking about two different animals, trying to consider an ordinance to include the both of them, because if you don't, the sheriff is gonna enforce it, if it's not specifically included in that ordinance. And we also need to look at the ordinance on St. George Island, to include ATVs and amend that ordinance, because he is enforcing that.
Yes.
A lot of people buy an ATV that they can use to hunt on, put trailer to a hunting site or whatever, and they bring it back to the island. 8 months out of the year they're not hunting, they use these ATVs rather than having to buy a golf cart. But the sheriff is enforcing that, so that's another issue that we need to look at.
Mr. Chairman, I'll ask you a question. On the ATV, don't they can get them with a tag, lights, and insurance and all, can't they?
Not that I'm aware
some
of.
of them,
I don't know.
When you say ATV, I'm thinking of four-wheeler.
I know the man down the street, he's got lights and a tag and all on his, got a tag and all on
What-
his.
is it a mule?
When I-
Is it a mule?
That's what I'm referring to, Mike, Attorney Schuler, is the mules and different things like that that are bigger than a golf cart, run faster than a golf cart. But most people say, well, it's
Gators.
a four-wheel,
Mules.
kind of like a golf cart, but the sheriff doesn't see it that way because it's not included in the current ordinance.
I don't know what he does know him and his wife rides it around.
But anyways,
Tag on
that's
it.
another whole issue. We do have a motion and a second on the floor.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
yeah, you're right, you took the words I was gonna say, but you're right, this weekend opened a whole can of worms on St. George Island, because as some of these citizens have expressed, if it's been going on for 20 years and they've done it that way, that's a real problem and again, like I stressed to someone last night talking about our current ordinance on St. George Island, I said, you can't possibly think that for us as commissioners, that we're gonna talk to our sheriff and say, hey, what are you doing enforcing our ordinance? I said, no, we're not gonna do that. But now, if there's something that can be changed with ordinance, that's something we can try to do, but you need to be patient and see what can transpire. So that's, I just wanted to add that.
But it should still be held to the speed limit.
Yes.
Regardless of how fast they will go or can go,
That's right.
just as these cars that we're talking about on Alligator Drive.
That's right.
If you lower this for the golf carts, and it's also lowered for the cars, and you can be assured the sheriff is going to enforce it. So that's something that the people need to take into consideration when they're talking about lowering the speed limit to allow for golf cart use. You're also lowering it for the cars too. So, you know, you need to be careful what you ask for, because the sheriff is going to enforce whatever we decide to do. That's just the type sheriff he is. I mean, he's going to enforce the law to the letter of the law. And some of these things we may have to readjust as we're talking about St. George Island. Sir, would you state your name for the record?
Yes, it's Franklin Jacobs. I live on Pine Street. Something I wanted to say, and there's a difference between a golf cart and an ATV. A golf cart is a side by side, and an ATV you straddle. And many places you go, you can ride a golf cart, but you can't drive an ATV because ATVs are faster.
Right, and that's what I was saying earlier.
And we would like to have ours in Pine Street. We would like to drive our golf carts, and at Pine Street it's 45, and you could drop it just a little bit. It ain't but 2 miles to the corner of the curve. And what would be the problem if you're gonna do that, drop the speed limit from 45 to 35 at the corner? It ain't but 10, and people run fast on that road anyway.
Pine Street, is he referring to Alligator?
Pine Street, yeah.
Out
There's
there.
Pine Street
By
in
Sun
St.
and
George
Sand,
too.
by
Okay.
Mission by the Sea and all that out there.
We do have a motion and a second on the floor
I just wanted to
to
mention that.
explore the idea of, but as we move forward, just as you're saying, the more we move forward, the more complicated it's becoming.
I'm just saying that, there's a lot of places you go, there's a difference between a golf cart and an ATV. ATV is one, they consider you sit on.
But when
crossways.
you're looking at enforcement mechanisms, when you have several different areas that
Mm-hmm.
are different, you're making it harder for the sheriff to enforce
Yeah,
any
well,
kind of
side
ordinance
by side.
because,
Okay.
because you got all these different regulations now that we're looking at trying to come up with to provide for different things on different roads. And I don't think that's the way to go.
Mr. Chairman, before we can take a vote, let me just say something. I'm in a dilemma right here because I know the situation, and I realize it down there. But, we lowered part of the speed limit out there on 370 coming into Alligator Point because people were going too fast. People got tickets. If we do this again, you're still, one way or the other, somebody's gonna get a ticket. We can't fix the cures of the sheriff's department. And I echo Chairman Parrish and what he said. This sheriff that you got in here now, no matter whether you like him or not, he's gonna enforce the law. So whatever it is, if we lower that speed out there on 370 from 45 to, let's say we say 35. If you don't do that 35, you're gonna get a ticket for it. So either way, if we don't allow that and you drive on the roads with the ATVs, golf carts or whatever, and we don't pass this, you're going to get a ticket. If we do pass it and we lower the speed and you go too fast in your car down it, you're going to get a ticket. So we can't make everything right for y'all. But we will look at this and see, but it's going to ultimately come down to what we feel like is the safest thing for the people.
And real quickly, Commissioner Sanders, it's gonna be lower than 35 when you got
It
a
is
golf,
gonna be
if you
lower.
got a golf cart doing 15 and
Gonna be
20, then you
25.
cannot have 35 miles per hour.
Yeah.
With interaction of traffic. So it's gonna be even lower than that, I can tell you up front, and I'm not the one that's gonna be doing it, the attorney is, but I'm just saying it's all gotta be compatible. If you want golf carts to share the road with the cars, and all this stuff has to be compatible. So we do have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
They shouldn't be in no hurry anyway, they retired.
Mr. Chairman, just for the board's information, for the public, your current ordinances that have been on the books for quite some time now ban ATVs on your roads right now. There's a limited authorization for people who are licensed on the shoulder of the road. The only exception is down at Alligator Point for the turtle permit holder. They're allowed to drive on the road surface itself. Everywhere else in the county is banned for ATVs.
Well, I mean, That's your job, Commissioner, Mr. Schuler. Come back with a recommendation of what's compatible and what isn't compatible.
Yes, sir.
I think that's the board's direction, and what you bring back to us, we'll seriously consider,
Yeah.
when we're looking at this issue. I mean, you're our legal advice, and I don't want the county, and the taxpayers don't want the liability issue to have to deal with. So we want to accommodate, we want to do the best we can. But if we do the wrong thing, and somebody gets hurt, first they're gonna say, well, you're liable, you're the one that did the speed limit, or you're the one that allowed us to get on the road, and somebody's been killed. That's a huge burden, for the board to have to handle, and for the taxpayers of the county. Not that we don't want to accommodate and try to give the people what they want, but we've got other issues that we have to look at from a broader spectrum.
Oh, absolutely. Again, the statutory language refers to the local government. You're the responsible county
Absolutely.
making the safety determination whether golf carts are or are not allowed on your county road.
Absolutely,
I've actually never
which
seen-
opens us up for liability, not the state.
It's going from 13 miles to Alligator Point, when whatever we pass, it's gonna be countywide.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just for clarification, the Polarises, the mules, all those kind of things are UTVs, utility vehicles. That's what they are. They're not ATVs. They're not a four-wheeler in the traditional sense. They're utility vehicles, and they can go faster.
Yeah, and I'm not saying we should allow them on St. George or we shouldn't allow them, I'm just saying it's an issue.
Well, there's
If we
already some-
decide not to allow them, then the ordinance is fine like it is, but the sheriff is going to enforce it.
Yeah.
So if you got one of these vehicles, the only time you can use it is to take it off the island and use it in your hunting lease or whatever. But we definitely have to look at the issues and deal with them the best we can.
And the only reason I bring that up, Mr. Chairman, is we actually have some of the entities that already own St. George Island that rent UTVs. They're already renting them.
Right, and it's not
So-
allowed by the ordinance.
Exactly.
So these people are
So we
renting.
definitely need
people-
to address it. You're
Right,
right.
they're renting them, but they're not allowed to ride them on the road.
Right.
And the sheriff is going to enforce that, obviously. Anybody have anything else, Mr. Howard? He needs to go to work. Thank you, Howard. Next will be Mr. Fonda Davis, Solid Waste Director.
Good morning, Commissioner. How y'all doing?
All right.
Everybody good? Okay. Just a couple things that on the agenda here. Couple things come up while I was sitting here that I didn't include on the agenda, but all of this, the leave no trace, just getting that time of year where we need to enforce it. So I just like to get your approval to advertise for the part-time help for the leave no trace.
So,
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley, second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? That motion carries.
Next thing is Dale Ball. Just want to remind you all, it's March 31st and April 1st to be at Kendrick Field. And the next thing I have is that, if you see on the agenda here, I have spoken with Glenn Davis, permit coordinator with the Department of Transportation, about the championship signs being placed on county line. This is a request that Commissioner Sanders brought up probably 2 years ago. So he advised me that DOT will not allow the placement of the signs on those locations. Another option is that we could put it right there at the complex.
No, we have poles there that has already been there,
Yes, ma'am.
and all they have, they don't have a sign. But
Okay.
we've got the poles there. If you know, like going to Alligator Point,
Right.
go on past, like you're going into the boat ramp, there's a
Okay.
wide grassy area up over there on the left-hand side, and you'll see two green posts. That's where we got permission from DOT to put them back, right after 1999. So they were there for a long, long time until somebody decided to steal the sign part of it.
Okay. And that's
So-
at Alligator Point, you said?
Well, it's coming off the bridge.
Okay,
If you're coming to Franklin County, coming off the bridge, if you go past where the boat ramp is right there.
Right.
And there's a wide green field out there, you'll see it over on the right-hand side.
Okay.
And up next to the woods, there's two of our green poles there.
Yes, ma'am.
That's where that sign needs to go, and Mr. Glenn Davis don't know what he's talking about.
okay,
Because we've already been permitted.
okay. We'll take care of it.
Just put the sign back on the post.
Okay.
I got you. Yeah, that's all that needs to be done. That's the reason why you don't go to the state when you want something. They don't get it to you. Okay, but anyway, that's it, but thank you for looking into it.
Okay.
And giving us the answer.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Appreciate it.
That's it.
That's all you have? Anyone have anything for Mr. Davis? Thank you, Fonda.
Thank you.